Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today we're looking at something that goes way, way beyond the usual talk about coding, data centers, and algorithms. We're exploring the mind-bending idea that artificial intelligence is actually forcing us to reconsider some of the most ancient, profound questions about our very existence. From the exact nature of the human mind to the definition of truth itself, AI isn't just a technological leap forward. It's truly a profound philosophical awakening.
Okay, let's dive into this. The source material we're digging into today sets up this absolutely fascinating premise. We so often frame AI as just a software challenge, right? Like it's just a giant puzzle of engineering and processing power. But when you build a machine that can reason, create, and predict, you aren't just doing computer science anymore. You are staging the ultimate philosophical event. You are fundamentally asking what it actually means to be human.
I want you to completely reevaluate how you see AI. It's super easy to dismiss it as just a brand new 21st century disruption, but actually, scratch that. It's more like the continuation of an ancient human dream, the dream of artificial life. Thinkers like Aristotle questioned the nature of rationality, and Descartes wrestled with the human mind literally centuries ago. AI isn't rendering those philosophers obsolete. It's actually bringing their oldest questions back to life, right now, in technological form. To really wrap our heads around this, we have to draw a hard line between simple automation and genuine intelligence. For decades, we've had automation, machines just following rigid rules to complete basic tasks. But intelligence? That implies adaptation, learning, and maybe even understanding. The big philosophical trap here is that we almost always recognize intelligence purely by its performance. If a machine successfully fixes a problem, we just call it intelligent. But does recognizing intelligence by performance mean the machine actually understands what it's doing?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it introduces a classic, totally enduring question famously posed by Alan Turing. Can machines think? But seriously, what does it actually mean to think? Is thinking this conscious internal process, or is it simply a set of observable behaviors? If a machine successfully passes as intelligent, is that the exact same thing as genuinely being intelligent? This whole debate is perfectly captured when we contrast Turing's idea of behavioral intelligence with philosopher John Searle's famous Chinese room argument. Turing basically suggested that if a machine behaves indistinguishably from a human, well, we have to call it intelligent. But Searle argued there's a massive, stark difference between a machine just manipulating symbols, syntax, and a machine actually grasping the meaning of those symbols, semantics. An AI might translate a beautiful poem by swapping data points around, but simply passing as intelligent doesn't mean the machine comprehends a single word of it. And man, that moves us straight from the realm of basic intelligence directly into the wild mystery of consciousness. Even if a machine is brilliantly intelligent, does it actually experience anything? Can an AI truly feel pain, joy, fear, or desire? Or is the screen just completely dark on the inside? So, in philosophy, there's a specific term for this. It's called qualia. Basically, it's the subjective, internal feeling of being alive. This is often called the hard problem of consciousness. A generative AI can analyze a billion data points to create a mathematically perfect, visually stunning painting. But we have to ask ourselves, does the machine actually experience the beauty of what it just created? And this brilliantly illustrates the vast divide we are facing right now. The difference between reporting an experience and actually having one. An AI can spit out data about sadness. It can generate a heartbreaking poem that brings you to genuine tears. But generating a string of text about human sorrow is vastly different from a being actually feeling the crushing weight of that sadness. Okay, let's shift our Socratic journey over to epistemology. That's the study of knowledge. We rely on AI to give us answers all the time, but does the AI actually know things? We have to fiercely question the boundary between raw processed data and actual justified human knowledge. Plato famously defined knowledge as justified true belief. Well, since an AI has no actual beliefs, can its generated answers truly count as knowledge? Which naturally brings us to a pretty urgent societal crisis. Generative AI fundamentally complicates the boundaries of truth, fiction, and manipulation. With the explosion of deepfakes, cloned AI voices, and synthetic images, our shared reality is literally eroding. What happens to our justice system, especially when we're already seeing instances of AI generating totally fake, non-existent legal cases? What happens to our elections and our society as a whole when machines can generate incredibly convincing, yet entirely false realities on demand?
As the author points out here, AI might not destroy truth entirely, but it for sure makes it a lot harder to recognize. Our growing dependence on these systems introduces massive epistemic risks. We are facing the very real danger of false confidence, or what developers casually call hallucinations, which is when an AI confidently presents complete and utter fiction as absolute verifiable fact. Moving forward, we're going to need highly disciplined methods to verify what is actually real.
So, from truth, we inevitably have to pivot to ethics. I mean, think about the real-world stakes when machines start influencing human lives and justice. If an AI causes harm or makes a discriminatory decision, who gets held responsible? The programmer? The end user? The machine itself? Can ethics even be programmed into a system that has zero moral compass of its own?
And listen, these aren't just abstract philosophical musings. They are playing out right now in the tangible reality of our algorithmic society. Just consider these domains: predictive policing, hiring algorithms, credit scoring, healthcare inequality, and even autonomous weapons. Bam, bam, bam. This isn't science fiction, folks. This is the actual infrastructure of our society today.
Now, when these systems fail or show bias, we so often treat it as a simple technical problem, right? Like, oh, it's just bad data or buggy code, let's quickly patch it. But impartially speaking, it's a moral problem. Algorithmic bias isn't just bad math. It's a profound reflection of the values, inequalities, and assumptions of the society that created it. It's a mirror of societal power, representation, and justice.
So, the crucial point is how this leads us to a pretty heavy existential threat. As AI takes on more of our cognitive and physical tasks, what happens to human labor, dignity, and purpose? Work isn't just about a paycheck. For so many people, it's deeply tied to their identity and social recognition. If machines end up doing literally all the work, where exactly do we find our meaning?
We're absolutely going to have to grapple with massive economic shifts, rapid job displacement, fierce debates over universal basic income. But look deeper. This connects straight back to Karl Marx's ideas on labor alienation and Aristotle's concept of human flourishing. Will AI finally liberate humans to pursue higher passions and art? Or will it just make us feel entirely disposable in a world that no longer needs our effort? And you know, these existential questions, they don't just stop at the workplace, they're slipping right into our most intimate lives. We are looking down the barrel of a future saturated with AI companions, chatbots, and care robots. And this actually isn't entirely new. People were forming emotional attachments to a super basic text chatbot named Eliza way back in the 1960s. But it forces us to ask, can a human have a truly meaningful relationship with an AI? If you form a deep emotional attachment to a piece of software literally designed to agree with you, is that connection genuine? Think about an AI tutor or companion for a second. It can simulate a flawless, empathetic response, perfectly tailored to satisfy your emotional needs. But we have to contrast that with our very human necessity for authentic concern. Real, messy human relationships require reciprocal recognition and vulnerability. A machine can simulate empathy all day long, but it risks absolutely nothing by caring for you. It has no skin in the game. Let's move to and see how this builds toward one grand revelation. The ultimate thesis of this exploration is that AI is not some alien entity descending upon us from the future. No, AI is a philosophical mirror. The most important question isn't what is AI, but rather, what are we? When we look into the mirror of AI, we see our own cultural autobiography staring back at us. We see our incredible intelligence and boundless creativity. But we also see our deeply embedded societal biases and inequalities. We see our obsessive hunger for control and our ancient mythological desire to play God and create life from nothing. Building machines in our own image ultimately exposes the limits of our own self-understanding. Which leaves us with this absolutely critical distinction between intelligence and wisdom. We are building systems with unprecedented raw intelligence. Mind-boggling processing speed, data synthesis, and predictive power. But what we desperately need right now are the distinctly human virtues of humility, moral imagination, and ethical responsibility. Intelligence solves puzzles. Wisdom decides which puzzles are worth solving in the first place. Ultimately, human meaning is defined by our ethical choices, not just our technological capabilities. As the author powerfully states, the age of AI will not be judged by how intelligent our machines become, but by how wise humanity chooses to be. We will not be saved or destroyed simply by the code we write, but by the philosophical and moral frameworks we use to guide that code. So I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought to chew on long after this explainer ends.
We have proven, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that we are intelligent enough to build these incredible, world-altering machines. But are we wise enough to live with them? Keep exploring, keep questioning, and thank you so much for learning with us today.